GBP Pros, welcome everyone. Those that are catching the replay, I appreciate your guys' support. Again, let's not forget our goal for GBP Pros is kind of a twofold, right? One is to help agency owners do two things. One is grow your agency, or two, help get better results for your clients. And the second goal is, if you're a business owner, is how to make that phone ring, right? And we, with GBP Pros, we do this by inviting guests that either are doing an event or have a specialty. And our guest today is Lisa. I consider her my friend. This is her second time with us. And to be honest with you, now that I say this out loud, what our goal is for GBP Pros, Lisa covers all of them, right? If you're an agency and want to grow your agency, Lisa got you, right? With proven results, no guessing, right? And it's somebody which I love about Lisa, and most of our guests, this is my goal that I have on here, are in the trenches that are doing this every day. She's not talking about stuff that used to work or might work. It's like, no, this is what I'm doing to get results, to grow my agency, right? And she's developed a platform, she developed an environment that if you're an agency, whether experienced or new, you can get plugged in to help you with that. And if you're a business owner, guys, Lisa can also, with predictability. I love the way, one of the unique selling points with Lisa that I love is she can tell you, right? She has enough experience and lets the data like point, hey, this is going to take 6 months. This is going to take a year. This is going to take 2 years. Oh, your budget doesn't fit. Okay, we'll tailor it to your budget as well. So love it. Lisa's, we've known, geez, a little bit, what, 2 years now, 3 years or so. We met in Vegas. We hit it off super cool. I got plugged into some of the groups that she's involved in, some of the trainings, and so grown to love and appreciate Lisa as a friend that I can reach out to, and what she's about, which I love it, love it. Lisa, how are you? Welcome.
I'm great. What a welcome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. If you could just do that every morning, when I get to my desk, that'd be great.
Yeah, 100%. So, Lisa, for those that didn't watch the first one or don't know you, if you can kind of take us on a recap of your journey, how you got to this point.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I'm the classic corporate America, hate your job, couldn't fathom being there for another 30 years. So I was looking for a way not to have a job. So I started my agency. I had experience, I programmed my first website back in probably 1996-ish, 95-ish. So right when the internet like was fresh and new, because I came from a military background. I was in the military. We had DARPANET, so it wasn't weird for me to be on computers already. But when I started the agency, I didn't know what I didn't know. And it was harder than I thought it was going to be. When you don't have a business degree and you're not exposed to business and nobody in your family owns a business, it's a scary thing. So, Alfredo, as you know, I kept my job for 3 years and did both. I worked full time at the agency, full time at a corporate job, and they laid me off. Yay! So I got 9 months of salary to figure it out. And it was scary. It was scary. I didn't know how it was going to go. We're conditioned our entire lives to, or for most of us, to want that job because the job equals security. And that was the second time I'd been laid off after giving like 9 years to a company both times. It was funny how it was the same exact time. And it just occurred to me, no, I'm never going to do this again. So I worked really hard. We made almost six figures in our first year. We broke six figures in our second year. By our third year, we were sneaking up on $250,000, and then it just kept going from there. And yeah, Like everyone else, I stumbled and fell along the way. I ran into trouble. But because I've been in training my whole life, that's what I did in corporate America. I was a trainer, and then eventually I led a training organization and was vice president of training at Bank of America as my last actual job. I eventually started training again once I learned all this stuff, and other people would ask me, how did you do that? Or how did you get here? Or how do you make so much money? Or how can you go to Disney World 5 times a year? Like, how are you doing all this? I came back to my roots and started a training organization. And it's really what I probably should have started instead of a business, but then what would I be training on?
That's right.
Then I
That's
would
right.
just be a soft skills trainer, um, or programming. And that's what I did. That's what I did for, 20 years. I was a programming instructor and led a programming department. So that didn't seem sexy. So, so here we are,
Awesome.
full circle, back to training and training in the tech space. So,
Awesome. If we can unpack those for those that like are just starting in this like marketing, run your own business. And that's one thing I learned. Like there's marketing, right? And then there's running a business that so happens to be marketing, right? Or somebody starts their own business and in our world it just happens to be marketing. How scary was that? You did it for 3 years.
hmm.
That's how I started as well. Man, you're burning the candle on both ends. You've probably seen some of my videos. I have the bags under my eyes, right? Um, Gosh, I remember doing presentations. I was came from a delivery truck driver, right? Delivering, to grocery stores and stuff. I remember pulling over, taking my lunch to do presentations, right? Um, but how scary is it? Like, right? I think they pushed you a little bit, like on the other side of things, like now that you've on the other side, like, can you speak on that a little?
Yeah, I think it's still scary to people because we have these false beliefs in our head. Everything from the time we were little is what we like to call in our, community baggage. And you carry that baggage with you from job to job, place to place, decade to decade. And if you don't start realizing what that baggage is and shedding that baggage, it gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And a business is scary because it's unknown. If we go to a job, we know we could practically suck and it would still take them 6 months in a large corporation for them to fire you, right? They have to go to HR 3 times. They have to write you up. They have to do this. So you could do just enough to get by and collect a paycheck. And if
Mhm.
that's what you want, do it. But for those of us who want more, right? For those of us who want the freedom, I never did this for the money, but the money's great. Um, the freedom to go to Disney World 3 times a year, go to Destin, go to, wherever I want, whenever I want, pick up and go see a concert at the drop of a hat in the middle of a day, right? I can do anything. And so for me, I think what I had to realize was the job had absolutely no security either. It was a fallacy. They could let you go any day they want to. And what's interesting, over the last decade or two, what I've noticed is it's happening more and more and more. Kids come out of college, they have a hard time getting jobs, and they're paying low wage. Is that secure? No. So I think you have to get out of your head in thinking that a job is security because it's not. There's absolutely no security there. Your 401k, there's no security there either, right? There's just absolutely nothing compelling about working for someone else. You're making them rich. You're making them have freedom. You're giving them the time. So you need to just kind of tell yourself, hey, listen, I make my own luck now. I make my own freedom. I make the rules. It's harder. I will say that. And I'm sure you know that, Alfredo. It's harder to work for yourself, right? You can't just phone it in when you work for yourself or you will not succeed. But the rewards are so much greater, right? What we get at the end of the day is opportunity that's never going to be presented to us in a job. maybe I was in corporate America. So for me, I was vice president, going up to senior vice president. One, I didn't have a college degree, so that was very limiting for me. But also to get there, I mean, you had to claw your way there. You had to, I tried the route of, hey, I'm just going to do my job and be great at my job and do all these good things. And someone would stab you in the back, steal your idea, steal your glory, and they would get promoted. You'd be like, wait, what just happened? It just wasn't the world for me. And like I said, I woke up one day and realized this is not it. And it was funny that I made that mental mind shift. I remember sitting at the desk. By the way, I was a vice president, and you know what my really great space was? I had a cube by the window. That's what I got. Worked all that time to get my cube. But I remember sitting there that day when I had the realization, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to do this for like 30 more years. I was depressed. I like disgusted with the idea. And literally just making that mental breakthrough that I didn't want to do that. Funny, I probably would have never quit that job, even though I had a business and I was making money and I was doing stuff. But then I got laid off. I was forced. My hand was forced. And I had 9 months. Do I go get a job? I considered it. And by the way, the day I got laid off, my company that I started was making right around $250,000 a year.
Hmm.
And I still thought I should go get a job because, oh my gosh, what if this business doesn't work out? Of course it's going to work out. So I think getting over that fear, which was planted in our brains, we didn't go to school and in our lower grades and then high school, and I didn't go to college, so I can't tell you about college, but in those endeavors, no one once ever taught me about finances, managing my money, no one taught me about investing. Nobody taught me about business, opening a business, none of that. Everything was geared to get me into college so I could get a degree, so I could get a job. Man, we should change that. We really
Yes.
should.
Yeah,
But it is what it
100%.
is, and that system's set up that way for a reason. Like business owners don't want that to change because then there'd be no workers. We'd all be independent and they wouldn't be filthy rich. We'd all be probably equally rich, which they don't want.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
yeah,
So love it. Love that story. Love that the inspiration. I think it's 100% so true, that mindset. You have to change those limited beliefs that you literally, it is that baggage from when we were kids, right? Like something happened, boom, it triggered, it got him and like embedded and he just keeps building on that. So mindset is huge, huge, huge to accomplish and do a lot of things. Um, and especially in business, like you said, man, bookkeeping, right? That time of year right now with taxes, like,
yeah,
yikes, what is this thing, right? It's more than just, your side hustle. It's more than just a hobby. It's a legitimate business that you have to take care of those things as far as taxes and whatnot. So that time of year. So those are the things like within business that you really want to capture and learn and set your foot forward, right? So we're in this thing called marketing, right? We're in this thing called, uh, Google and whatnot. So, in your opinion, especially these last, oh, there she is, Michaela. Go on, mom. Go on, mom. With this,
she's just stopping by. She heard all this marketing talk.
yeah. um, with this thing with Google, we just had an update. Where do you see things going? I know AI is a big thing, right, Lisa? And you've done it a long time, right? You've literally seen the changes, right? Even with like our little group of guys that are in it daily. Um, what can you speak on with marketing, where we're at today, and to be successful, like what do you really need?
Yeah. We go back to the same topic, fear, right? We can't fear change. And AI is difficult and different and not what our brains and our beliefs understand, right? So now we have this new thing that we didn't even see coming. It's not like it slowly crept up on us. It's like we had nothing, and a year later we had ChatGPT. And that opened the floodgates of AI. And I think it got everyone scared. Like, oh my gosh, SEO is going away. No, SEO is not going away. Everyone's going to do their own SEO. Have you ever got a customer who tried to do their own website? Right? It doesn't work that way. It's not going to happen. Yes, there will be people who try to do their own thing. Great. They're not your customer. They probably never were. But the
Mhm.
guy who's out there painting houses every single day and that's his world, he doesn't even, he hears AI on the news. That's all he knows about AI. Maybe his smartphone now talks about AI. So I think we get scared. And when Google makes algorithms, same thing. We're scared. Oh, we're going to drop in the ranks. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And we just got to step back and think about things in a way that sets us apart because I think that's the key. If everyone has AI tools, then, oh, it's so much easier. But is it? Because doesn't that level the playing field? So if everyone all of a sudden got a fork and nobody else had forks before, all of a sudden we can eat the same way, we can eat the same. But then I decide I don't want a fork anymore. I want a spoon. And I'm the only guy with the spoon. I can shovel a lot faster, can't I? And it's a stupid analogy just to say that we still have to set ourselves apart. We still have to figure out what we can do differently that will rank our customers over somebody else who's doing, and I like to call it the easy button. I can't tell you how many tools have come out in the last year. It's
Mhm.
there's CTR tools. There's like 20 of them. There's oh, we'll make content. Push this button. Boom, you get 20,000 articles and great, use all that. Unless you want to set yourself apart. And that's the key. Be careful with the hype because adopting all these things that are push button easy, push button easy, push button easy. What has been the trend with Google over the years? It's been to take that advantage away. It'll work for 5 months. It'll work for 6 months. It might work for a year. But eventually they get privy to that. They figure that out and they do something to change it. And you're always in the chase of the next thing. We don't work that way. We work by process and I have people and we've been following the same process and doing the same stuff for almost 2 decades and it still works. I'm not saying I don't use tools, but I'm very selective in the tools I use. I don't just throw tools out and bring up new tools. Like we all know content is king. So somehow we think if one article is great, 100 will be better. I'm still in the if the one article is great, make that one article greater and put all your efforts into that piece of content and then build backup characters to that content, right? And then put all our efforts into that one piece that's that entity topically. We don't need 1,000 backlinks going to something. In fact, that's going to, I think, eventually be what clues Google in. They're going to be like, oh, look at there's 5,000 links going to this, and nobody actually ever goes to those links. Does that sound familiar? So to me, that's what's changed is access to new ideas that aren't really that great, access to tools that don't really help you. Instead, they make you just one of 10,000 people doing the same thing. So the guy doing it like a little different way or more old school or putting in the work themselves, I think they will stand out.
Yeah,
I'm not saying your
100%.
competition won't beat you for a minute. They might, but long term, you got to figure out, what's the percentage of, yeah, I'm going to use some of these tools and these cheats, because that's what I call them, or I'm going to do traditional, good quality content, that kind of thing. Because what was
So,
this here, Alfredo? Helpful content update.
so when you guys hear me say best practices, when you guys hear me say when it comes to keyword, what does that really mean? Variation, LSI. When you guys hear me say like best practices, right? now you guys know where I get it from. People like Lisa, like Lisa and the group that we're involved in. Like the best practices data, that's where I get that from. And guys, I hope you're picking up what she's putting down because she's dropping gold mines there, gold nuggets, pick them up, right? Now, when it comes to tools, again, guys, it's like what Lisa said. Yeah, use them. It helps you do the heavy lifting. But one of the things I want to point out what Lisa says, she has people. You put eyeballs on this stuff still. You approve it, you adjust, you polish it up, put your um, personality, put your experience into it, right? And that's what makes the difference is those best practices. We do use the tools, right? But you still put eyeballs on it and make that from good to great. So um when I hear Lisa talk, is like I'm seeing like I know exactly where she's coming from. I know exactly what you mean. Yes, yes, finally somebody, right? So I just want to give credit where credit is due, guys. Lisa, when you guys hear me say stuff like that, that's where I'm getting it from. Because not only is she saying it, she's doing it, but like the training that we've got, and she's super open, right? That let me show you. It's not just tell you, which I love. So I just wanted
And
to
can I
throw
add to
that in.
that,
Yeah,
Alfredo,
yeah.
something, we talk about origin of business. One thing that you have to get out of your head and understand is you are no longer an SEO. You're no longer a content person. You're not a web developer. You're a business owner. You hire people to do all that stuff now. Because if you try to continue to be in the role, you just have a really, really very busy job. You've just replaced the job with a paycheck with a job with maybe a little bigger paycheck, but way more stress because we all get the same hours in the day. What you do with your hours is very important. And I always tell my guys, you can't manage time. You can't. It's just going to keep ticking. There's no management of time, there's only self management. So, knowing what we want to do every day, we want to build our business as business owners. I get people. You talked about taxes. I don't worry about my taxes. Why? Because I have a person. You talk about, anything from sales tax to bookkeeping, handled. I don't do that. I write a check for that. I don't do my own SEO. I write a check for that. I don't do my own content. I write a check for that, so to speak, right? Now, I do all my stuff internal. I don't do a lot of outsourcing, obviously. I have my own teams. But even when Alfredo, when you said, you got to have eyeballs on that, you got to check that. I've trained someone to be my eyeballs. I'm not those eyeballs. I don't have time for that. So we've trained people up under us. Don't be afraid to take your knowledge and put it into someone else. We're all afraid, oh, well, we're going to teach them and they're just going to leave. Maybe they do. So what? If you build people up, a funny thing happens. They actually want to stay. If you let them have the same dreams as you, the same freedoms as you, I only hire people in my organization that own their own businesses. So you have to have and own an LLC to work with me. I don't want someone who wants a job. I don't want that at all. In fact, I hope they all leave me one day because they've learned enough that they can go build their own businesses. Because the cool part is while they're doing that and learning, they are giving you an amazing level of work you won't get with the guy who's just trying to collect a paycheck. So remember,
Love it.
you're building an organization, but you are the captain of that ship. And the last time I checked, captains don't swab their own deck. So either can you.
That's right. That's right. 100%. And again, that goes back to like your business, right? Running a business. In our world, it just happens to be marketing, right? That's the vehicle that we chose, that we love, that we thrive in. Now, one of the things I wanted to share and why I wanted to have Lisa on here, guys, is she is having an event. Now, it's just not any event. It's one thing that I like. It's a virtual event. So travel's out of the picture, right? All that stuff, that stress that comes with it is out of the picture. So I want to share this with the audience, and I want to make sure that Boom, boom, boom. Let me get rid of this. That people are aware of it, how they can support Lisa, how they would want to learn more about what Lisa's doing. She's putting together this virtual conference seminar. Would that be correct?
We just call it a virtual live conference. So it's like you're going to a conference and you get everything you want to get out of a conference. You just do it from the comfort of your own home. And the reason we did it virtually, and I started this last year was our first year. This is our second annual. I started it for two reasons. One, travel has gotten stupid expensive, right? There's no $80 hotels anymore. They're all $280. Flights are expensive, food's expensive. Everything about conferences is expensive. And going to a conference can mean anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000, which is insane. But what you go to a live conference for is that interaction. So we researched and tried stuff and worked with stuff to come up with a platform that's highly interactive. We get that same experience. We even have virtual bars and like sports rooms and all sorts of stuff where people can congregate during breaks and after hours. And we even do events, and little activities during the event to help people network, meet new people, but more importantly, meet with all the impact coaches. So we've got 21, I think. We have two alternates. So technically we have 23, but we have a huge lineup of people that are going to talk from everything from SEO to content to social media to building your business. And to me, it's an amazing time to go listen, but more importantly, when you go live, we build in 15 minutes of real, like after someone teaches you something, talks to you, you ask questions and you have the opportunity, to interact with these folks. And some of them are very, very successful folks. Some of them are just kind of starting out and they've done some amazing things. So we did get a mix of people, but all of them are experts at what they do. And that's, one of the keys, right? Now, unfortunately, Alfredo, it starts on Monday if you're a VIP, Tuesday if you just go to the regular conference. So not a whole lot of notice, but we've got a few seats. I think we only have two VIP seats left, and then I think we have 5 or 8 regular seats. So we do have a few seats left. And I know it seems weird, like why would you have to worry about seats virtually? Well, the technology and bandwidth. So we do have to limit how many people are in the technology, and we've capped this at 100 total people, just so. Now it does include the impact coaches, and there's 23 of them plus myself, that's 24. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's very intimate, very intimate. And I think you guys will love it. One of the cool things, and I don't know, I think it might be on I don't know, maybe towards the bottom, Alfredo, of that page you're on right now. It
Yep.
actually shows last year's event center down towards the bottom. Yeah, right there. No, so that's not the event center. That's actually my office. Um, every single day, I log into a virtual office software. After we found this, I loved it so much. My team's not required to come here ever, but they know I'm sitting here each and every day, and they're allowed to come here, and they're allowed to hang out. They can ask me questions. They can interrupt me. They can speak to me at a moment's notice. Now, if I'm on a call or like right now I'm on something, I've obviously logged out and turned it off. And then when I get done, I'll log back in. The cool part is with VIP, with your VIP ticket, you get 1 year's access to sit. So see those little squares right there? You get to sit in this office every day. And if you have questions, guess what? You can come ask me. Now, the only thing I ask is I can't spend an hour every day with you. I can't spend an hour every week with you. So, but when you need it, I'm there. And that is game changing to me because that's how I became successful. I tapped into mentors. I tapped into people who were ahead of the game. They were farther from me. In fact, I'm going to a mastermind At the end of February, we're all locking ourselves inside of a mansion and going to talk business. And a lot of these people are ahead of me, whereas, we're making, millions of dollars, they're making tens of millions of dollars. And those are the type of people I want to be around to see how I can, you know, and for me, it's not about the money, but they've scaled their businesses so well. I want to learn from them. So to me, that's what conferences are about. They're about taking the nuggets you need. It's not about attending every single session and learning every single thing. It's picking and choosing. So everybody at our conference gets recordings. And you can buy just the recordings if you choose to. But the reason I give every person recordings, I don't make regular attendees buy them separate. I hate that because when you sit at the conference, you're there to see what people are throwing down. I tell people take notes. And the only notes I want you to take is which replays you want to go watch. Right? Because some things won't resonate with you. Like that was nice. And I'm gonna let that be. But then you really, want to hone in on, I'm gonna go watch this replay and try to do this again or try to implement this in my business. And that's key at a conference. But more than anything, Alfredo, like you and I know, because we've broke bread together, we've had drinks together, that's the bonding that you do. You meet people of all varying success, places where they are in their business. And I don't care who you are, you can be a multi-billionaire. You can learn from someone who just started a business and vice versa.
Yep,
So,
100%.
yeah, I spend the entire time. I joke because when I go to a conference, I'm usually speaking, and my wife jokes with me and always says, "Oh, go get your attention fix. I'll see you in a week or whatever." And it's not that, but she also knows the one, like she'll call me at night and say, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm working." And that's what I say. I'm working. I'm not socializing. It's work, right? Because it's going to make my business go farther. If I sit in a conversation where Ted Kabitis drops like a giant gold nugget, that's work. Yeah, we're drinking, we're laughing, we're having fun. But as marketers, we can't not talk about marketing when we hang out together. I think it's in every industry. We sit there and when people have a couple of drinks, then they start sharing stuff they didn't think of, they didn't have time for, it doesn't make a good
Yes.
talk, whatever. Those are the moments. So if you go to a conference, whether virtual or live, it's the networking you're there
Yep.
for. You can always watch the replays. I know I've been out in a hallway while somebody's been speaking. I missed the talk because I was connected with someone. We were having a conversation that I felt was way more valuable than watching this live. I'll watch the replay.
Yep. 100%. And I can attest to that. In fact, the first person that put me hip to taxes and Stripe was Lisa. And that whole conference had nothing to do with business, taxes, or software, anything like that. So 100% I can attest to that. So guys, this is gonna be up. Hit up Lisa if you want some to attend. It's virtual. That's what's cool about it. The traveling, you heard her speak on it. If you want to follow Lisa as well, let me share that. I think the a cool spot for what would you say, Lisa? Facebook? Is that it's that?
Yeah, Facebook's fine. The conference, you just go to agencyfasttrack2025.com.
Hmm.
And tickets there's still a few. If they sell out, you won't be able to push the button. And yeah, I think it'll be the best money you ever spend. You can't go to a conference for less than $1,000 these days if you have to travel and do all that stuff. So really good money. But yeah, find me on Facebook. Find me on, you can find me anywhere. I'm not hard to find if you know how to spell the name. It's the spelling that's hard. So if you can see it on the screen, you know how to
Right
spell
here.
my name, you can find me. Yeah.
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 And guys, like Lisa said, she is super friendly, guys. She's super open, but don't like be mindful, right? She
Well,
can't
they got to
spend
join
hours.
VIP before they get that kind of access.
Yeah.
But we had we have a 10X program. They're also very VIP, and we meet every single Thursday. And I had someone say to me, "Oh man, I really needed to talk to you a few weeks back, but the meeting wasn't until Thursday." And I'm like, "And why didn't you just find me?" Oh, I I forget we have access. Guys, whatever advantage someone gives you, if they say anytime, call me anytime, call them. If they say, oh, schedule a free strategy session, take the session. Like, I'm always amazed by people not taking action. And I get some people are shy or some people don't want to take advantage, but let the other person tell you to stop. I'm good about that. Like if someone's just taking up too much of my time, I will say, "Hey, listen, I love you, but I can't spend this much time with you. So when you come, please bring like the important questions. Like don't not go through the course and then come here and expect me to teach you live, right?" So we have those conversations, but let them be the person to tell you no, right? Use everything you have, every asset, every resource, every person. That's how you succeed in business. And more importantly, that's how you free up your time. With everything I do and as much money as I make, the less time I spend in my business, if I've set it up right, the more money I make.
Yep, 100%. I can attest to that, right? You were just telling me you just got back yesterday from Florida, Disney World, right?
Yeah, just got back last night around 9 p.m. and well rested, had a great time, and we go back in May. And we've got 2 trips in between there. So that's why you're working. Always remember that. It's easier to sit at a job you hate and just get paid because it's easy. And but then that's why you're going home at night and watching Netflix for 5 hours. That's probably why you're buying crap you don't need or doing things you don't really love because secretly you're not happy with that life. The only person who can change that is you.
Mhm.
And a business is the vehicle. If you don't like where you're at, hang out with me. I got a really, hit me up. I've got a really good Facebook group. Alfredo, I know you're in it, the client acquisition and scaling group. It's a great way to get connected. If you hate this positive self-talk that I do and all this, shining brightness, then don't join because this is who I am. But if you need more of that, if you need a champion, you know, let Alfredo be your champion. Let me be your champion. But by golly, get a champion because
Yes,
we all get down, we all get in the dumps, we all cry at our desk at some point in our business. I've done all those things, but you got to pick yourself up and just keep going. I recently had a fella join our 10X program, and he was down, he was depressed, he got himself into massive debt, and he was struggling, and he still invested and came into the program. He not only has paid for that program, he's wiped his debt out. And I didn't do anything.
heck
Yeah.
yeah,
But it's not my program that did it. It's not what he learned in the program. He changed right up here. Right here. He started believing he could do it. He started believing it would happen. He started believing people would say yes. It's weird to say, but that matters. You have to believe and then go get the education and resources and contacts to help you get there.
100%. Love
Yeah.
it,
I
love it.
love what Alfredo does and everything that whole program's about.
Yeah, thank you. I
Oh.
appreciate that. So, guys, with that said, I want to be mindful of Lisa's time and appreciate you guys. And hopefully, you pick up the knowledge that she's dropped here. Get to know Lisa a little bit, kind of see what she's about, where she's coming from. Support her, follow her on Facebook. If you're able to join the conference, a virtual conference, I promise you guys, I promise if we take a look at the speaker list. She did an awesome job. I know these people, right? I know some of these people personally. She did a kick-ass job. Ian, Lee, right? Lee's wife, Honey, she's a her own person in itself. Clint is awesome, right? Ted, gosh, you know, uh, knowledge dude, you have Paul, right? The SEO video show and the new show he's just starting, right? Brian, all of these people here. Olga, I haven't met her personally. Jordan, you have Cohen, right? great group of guys. You have Patrick, you have
Guys and
Robin.
gals, Alfredo. Notice we have lots more gals than most conferences.
That's right. That's right. Which
That's
is
on purpose.
pretty cool to see.
We're
Yeah.
a very male-dominated industry, and I made it a point. Like Carrie DePhillips, for example, she runs a group called Sisters in SEO. So unless you're a woman, you would have no idea who she is. But believe it or not, there is an entire 15,000 plus strong Facebook group just for women in SEO. And she runs that group and the Content Factory. And that's one of the ones I'm excited about, how to create link bait articles to go
That's
viral
right.
whenever you want. And she's very good at this, and I'm very excited for for that talk.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones. And then Paul, man, Dre is like sick anyway. But he's going to do a little take on not just video for customers, like to do it for them, but he's like he's using video to get customers. And so he's going to talk about that. So just so many cool people.
Yeah.
And
So guys,
we turn people away. I got friends who invite me to speak at their conferences, and I did not invite them, and I feel bad, but I had so many people who wanted to speak, and I really chose people based on their topics, not who they are. So
yeah.
if they didn't come with the topics or, the good stuff, we didn't select them this year.
Yeah, and guys, I promise you, it is going to be a super show. You will take some gold nuggets. These people are awesome. Just to get in their world and talk to them and build a relationship is priceless. So, with that said, guys, I appreciate you, Lisa. I appreciate your time. I know we had a mishap on my end the last time from being sick and stuff going on, but I appreciate you again 100%. You're awesome. You've always been good to me and helping me out. So, I appreciate that.
Anytime.
So, guys, with that said, go out and support Lisa and much love, much success, and we'll catch you on the next one.